So, as you know, today you're creating your slogan and branding kit. We've already gone over a lot of these details, and now we're just going to focus on the steps that you need to take to create your branding kit. So, Ms. Sheft has created this teacher model of her branding kit where she's included the colors for her brand, the logo for her brand slogan, and then also the name of the two fonts, which are the fonts that she has used in this branding kit. So, we need to start off. I used Canva to create my branding kit. I suggest you also use it. If you already have a Canva account, that's great. Please keep using it. If you don't have a Canva account, you can join my Canva classroom, and you would do that by clicking this link, which is going to bring you to this page. And then you're going to click Continue with Google, click on your school email account, and it will create a Canva account for you in my teacher account. So pause the video and complete that step. Okay, great. So you've made your account, and now it's time for you to create now your actual branding kit. So there's a few steps that we're going to go through. The first is that you have the option to start with a blank template or use a pre-created template. If you go back to Canva and you type in branding kit, please be sure that you're clicked on templates. You can click on it and you'll see that there's a lot of pre-created templates. That's the cool part of Canva. They have a lot of pre-created templates. I personally wanted to use a plain blank document, so I just typed in poster and then I click create a blank poster. Pause and either start a blank template or pick a pre-existing template. Okay, so you are now on your template. The first thing that you should do is you should come to the top and you should label this. So you would write whatever your business's name is. So mine is Sheft Pilates, and this is my branding kit. So please label that. And then the next thing that you're going to want to do is I suggest that you look back and look at Ms. Sheft's for some inspiration. The first thing I suggest you do is pick 2 to 4 colors that you will use for all materials you make about your project. I looked for an image with colors I like and selected the colors from there. So my image is already uploaded in here, but you would save the image on your device and upload it. So what I did is I would click on the image, and when you do that, you can click off of the image like I just did, and then click on this, and you'll see that photo colors, it pre-creates them for you. So as you can see in Ms. Sheft's, I did these circle shapes. What I did is I went to elements. You can pick really anything. There's different ways to do this. This is just how I recommend doing it. You could pick a different shape if you prefer, like maybe you like these triangles better. So, you would pick the few colors that you want, and this is one of my first colors. As you can see, as I hover over this image or of this color, it gives me the color code. Another way for you to find the color code, which you're going to need the color code because that's how you're going to be able to easily go back and get it for everything you have to make. To find the color code, you can also go and click on this. And as you can see, this is already pre-selected. So I'm going to do copy. And then just to make sure that I don't lose that information, which we can reformat everything later, I'm going to put text in, paste, and now I have my first color labeled. As you can see, I picked 4 colors, and now you should complete this step. So pause the video and pick out your colors. You are required to pick at least 2 to 4 colors. Okay, so you've picked your colors, You saved the color code for all 4 colors, and it's now time for you to create a business logo. As I suggest here, it can be letters, a graphic, etc. If we look at Miss Chef's, I just did these 2 simple letters. And I know we still have font that we have to pick out, but simply to make mine, I knew that I wanted it to be the letter S for chef and P for Pilates. So I would click add a heading, and I did a letter S, and then add another heading, the letter P, and then I just positioned my 2 letters in a way that I wanted it to be positioned. And then the next thing I do is I select both letters, which you do P, and that you click on one letter, and then you do shift and click to click on another, and then you click group. And this way you can move things around, change the font easily, so on and so forth. If you wanted, instead of doing letters, to do more of a shape, you can look through elements. You can type something in to search. You know, maybe if you're doing a business where you're going to be, you know, working on cars, maybe you would do, for instance, something like this. You could change the image. You'd want it to maybe match your brand color. Simply a suggestion. So go ahead, pause, and create a really simple brand logo. Okay, so we've picked our colors, we created our business logo, and now what we need to do is we need to select 2 to 3 fonts that you're going to use for all materials you'll make about your project. You're going to want to use those actual fonts in your branding kit. As you can see here, I have 2 fonts that I use consistently for everything, and I have the actual names of them down below. If we look at the font direction slide, I make a simple suggestion. It is suggested in graphic design that you pair a serif font and a sans serif font, so that there's 2 fonts that actually contrast with each other. And just so you know, a serif font has the little feet like this. So I am a serif. This is Times New Roman as an example, classic serif font. A sans serif font does not have the little feet, and Arial is a sans serif font, so it doesn't have the little feet. You can see the difference between the 2. So I'm just going to remove this car so there's no confusion. So for my business logo, I know I need to change the font. So I spent time scrolling through, looking at lots of different fonts, and I landed on Intro Rust as my main font. And so that's what I wanted for my logo. And then I also selected, which this is a sans serif font, and then I selected this serif font Afra to use as a complement. They're 2 very different fonts. They complement each other because this is like a very bold font. This is a much, you know, like thinner font, so they contrast each other. So what I would do is I would put, as you can see back in my branding kit, I just, you know, labeled it fonts, and then I put the 2 names of the fonts so that I would remember, so that every time I go to create something, I can really quickly look at my branding kit and be like, oh, right, those are the names of my 2 fonts, so I don't have to guess. And let's go back and see our last thing. The last thing that you need to include is your slogan, which Ms. Chef's slogan, again, she's a private Pilates brand business that she's creating. So I created my slogan to be stay in motion because it is a type of exercise, and that's a lot of what my brand is going to be about the importance of, you know, keeping the body and mind in motion together. So that is the slogan that I've created. So you can see my layout. You can, you know, I just modeled a few things for you here. don't be afraid to, if you need to upload images for color inspiration, text, this is where you come to add. If you want to try drawing something, you have the option. And then you also have the option of going back to design if you want to change templates. It might be difficult to use a template because there will be colors that have been already pre-selected. You might have to delete a lot of things, but maybe that is what works best for you. And then the last thing that you're going to do after you finish creating your entire branding kit is you are going to save your branding kit. And you have two ways of doing this. The first is to save your branding kit as a PNG and insert it into a Google slide to submit your work. That is what I did here. It's saved as a PNG. I uploaded it as an image, and you could just submit a single slide with your branding kit on it to submit this work. The other option is that you could save your branding kit as a PDF to submit your work. So I would go back to my branding kit, click share, and then you go to download, click on that, and you select your file type. So PNG, again, would be if you were going to put it in a Google Slides presentation to submit it. PDF standard would be if you wanted to just download it on your computer and then link it to our Google Classroom assignment and submit it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm excited to see what you create. Remember, there is an undo button. Don't be afraid to use it. Canva is pretty user-friendly, so click around, play around. You will get the hang of it. You got this.